I want to talk to you about spiritual warfare. And there's a book you're going to hear about it that will be, I think, of interest to you that elaborates it even more. But defining spiritual warfare is something of a challenge because first and foremost, people are very inclined to wonder if spiritual warfare is some kind of a religious jihad at any other religion than, for example, the Muslim jihad. And we're not talking about some warfare that has to do with politics. It doesn't have to do with bloodletting only once. And the blood was let and poured out by the Son of God, who in that death and suffering, that he won the battle, but there's where the mystery lies for some people. How can there be a war if the battle was already won? And we'll talk more about that because I have a little bit of time with you each day for quite a number of days. So let me begin by talking about warfare in terms of being awakened to the fact of the warfare. To begin with, Jesus is the one who said, "My kingdom is not of this world." So he makes clear that this has to do with something he's doing in another realm, in the realm of human hearts and in the realm of the invisible, which has to do with other dynamics we'll talk about as we proceed. Jesus is the one who first brought this subject up, although warfare is all through the Bible, but most of the warfare you find in the Scripture does involve things that involve people, strife of nations, and it goes through several eras of history. When Jesus spoke about it, he said, "I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." He made this very clear, that there would be strife between the invisible, unseen evil of the darkness and between what he was bringing. Then he goes on and says, "And to those who know who he is, the Christ, the Son of the living God," as now he was addressing Peter, who had just said, "I know who you are," and I'm glad we do, because therein hangs the whole pivot point of the warfare. If you know the King, then you can be a part of a winning kingdom, but it involves you. He said, "I will give you the keys of the kingdom." The keys of the kingdom. He was not saying you have access to the palace for your vacation. He was saying, "I will give you access to a realm of operations and dynamic." And I want to talk to you more about that operational power and grace the next time we proceed, because I want to keep talking to you about what warfare is and how to participate in it effectively.